Stay tuned for an exclusive interview with fiddle player and singer Morgan Toney.
We are here with Morgan Toney, two-time 2022 ECMA winner. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
What was your biggest inspiration in making music?
My biggest inspiration was knowing that it was possible. Like when I first started my musical journey, it just happened so quick, and I didn't know what I was doing at first. But you know, a lot of hard work went into what I do, especially learning one of the most difficult instruments there is on this earth, which is the violin, and putting some Celtic flair behind it. But you know, what really inspired me is when I was speaking to an elder one time a couple years ago. And at this time I was known for my singing, but not really much of my fiddling. But there were some people that knew I played the fiddle, but I was mostly singing at the time. And there was an elder that came up to me and she said, "You play the fiddle, you sing. Is there a way that you can put them together?" And I was like, okay, I don't know, but I'll give it a shot. And we recorded our first song, which was Tegojua, which is a song that's been here for over 500 years. It's preserved, it's safe, and we added our own little, me and Keith Mullins is what I refer to as we, and we added our own little modern twist on it. We added instruments, harmonies, guitar, a whole bunch of things. And we put it out to the world. We didn't know what the feedback was going to be like. But, you know, we took that risk, and it's been uphill ever since.
That's awesome. Is it just the fiddle that you know how to play, or is there other instruments?
I play a little bit of the tin whistle, but not really. But I started playing the drums when I was around 7 years old until I was around 16. And around 16, that's when I started to play the fiddle. So I think that the drums really helped me a lot in terms of like my rhythm. I remember when I first started to play the fiddle, I went to this session. There's a lot of elders at this session, and they don't hold nothing back. They'll tell you what's up. And they told me, "You don't play really well, but your rhythm is great." And you know, but I remember that. But I consider myself okay. I'm an okay player now. One of the most difficult things was to just to stick with it. You know, and that was really difficult. There were times when I got really frustrated, and you know, I just thought to myself, I can't do this. This is crazy. But you know, I just kept going and going and going.
When did you know that music would be more than just a passion for you?
When I found out music would be much more than a passion is when, after we recorded Tegojua, a lot of people, you know, there was a lot of views on the video. A lot of people would come up to me and they're just like, "I don't know what I heard, but it makes perfect sense." And you know, that kind of inspired the whole album. And in the album First Flight, we talk a lot about our teachings, our Mi'kmaq teachings of our elders, teachers of our ancestors, and you know, how we live and what's the message that we want to give to the world. What are some issues that are not being talked about? You know, what could we do more of? And these are the things that we were thinking about when we were making this album, because you know, it is about time that you know, people start listening to our message as well, because we can put input in, we can help out too. And I feel like it's important that a lot of Indigenous musicians take this route, you know, and to spread awareness about the missing and murdered Indigenous women, about the residential school, you know, because those are things that nobody really wants to talk about. And that is what we were doing. And that is something that another good friend of mine, DeeDee Austin, is doing, Emma Stevens, you know, all these group of artists, we all have the same mindset in a way, because we just want to spread awareness.
Yeah. Other than spreading awareness, is there another legacy that you want to leave?
No, I don't think. But you know, when you speak of legacy, when I first started to play the fiddle, I didn't know that fiddle existed in my family. And I said this numerous times, but you know, my great-grandfather played the fiddle. 3 of my late great-uncles played the fiddle. And then after they passed away, no one really talked about it anymore, until I picked up the fiddle. And the stories started coming in and say, "Oh, your great-grandfather would have loved to hear you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Because he played the fiddle." So on my birthday, on my 16th birthday, I was gifted my great-uncle's fiddle, which was like, it was 106 years old.
Oh, wow.
In New Year's 1980. And it's beautiful. But you know, the legacy I want to leave behind is to just follow your dreams. And I'm talking to the Mi'kmaq Nation here. Start the conversation.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Start the conversation, because, you know, our conversations could lead to something great, and, you know, our message has to be heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
To you, what is the importance of community and lifting other people up?
Well, when I went to high school,
Yeah.
there was a group of students here that I was with, and it was really funny. When I wasn't into school for a very long time. I was in another school in Wagamama First Nation, and I moved to another school in Wamakuk First Nation. And when I went to that school, I made a lot of friends really quickly. And there was 4 other individuals in my class that played instruments. And what we started to do, and this is how we all met each other. They would be sitting in the hallways playing songs. So one guy was on the fiddle, 2 of them was on guitar, 1 was singing, and I was on the drums. And every recess, they made a rule. If the students did not want to go outside, they can come down to the high school wing and listen to us. And that was one of the biggest things in my life, you know, because there are people listening. You know, the young ones are listening. And it's important that they listen, because, you know, we're trying to make sure our culture remains strong, our language remains strong. We're all talking about this. But when you see young children coming in and listening to you and taking things after you, you know, that is the key. And when I left the school, a lot of the students missed that music. They missed hearing music in the hallways. And me and my group of friends that I was with, we helped to make sure that music remained strong in that school. Students would go in and pick up guitars, take it home, learn how to sing, you know, pick up these instruments. And, you know, I'm just really happy to be a part of that. So, like, the biggest thing, it's just like, be mindful of who's watching. Be mindful of the children who are watching, because they want to do what you're doing. And it's our job to make sure that happens.
Provide a blueprint for success. What do you hope others will take from this opportunity?
Well, you know, this was really quick.
Yeah.
I started playing the fiddle 3 years ago. So I'm not really sure of what the blueprint is. You know, we just recorded a song. But, you know, it has to do a lot with timing, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because when we recorded to Gojwa, a lot of people were talking about, oh, there's not much music coming out of the Mi'kmaq Nation. There's a lot of singers in the Mi'kmaq Nation. Well, how come no one's talking about this and this and this? It's timing. And, you know, I take that a lot, and I learned that from my chief at home, you know, to not rush things and to know to put something out when the timing is right. But, you know, find something that is important to you. Find something that is important to the people around you, so that you can spread the message and get people behind you 100%. And, you know, that was what we did with the Gojwa, and that inspired the whole album, and now we're here at the ECMAs 2022.
Yeah, and you won 2 awards.
I won 2 awards, yeah.
And what was a lesson that you learned while being in the music industry?
Be very patient.
Yeah.
You got to be patient in the music industry, you know. There's things that you just want to jump to. It's like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. But then you get to hold back. It's like, that's not the right time for that. You got to hold on. And, you know, playing the fiddle, you know, that's like patience itself, because that took me around maybe 1.5 years to learn to become an okay fiddler. But, you know, you just got to be patient with things, and especially in the music industry, another important thing is to make connections. Someone told me that connections are the most important thing when you're in the music industry, because these connections could lead to relationships. These relationships could become friendships. And, you know, just being here at the ECMAs, I met a lot of great people, and they're interested in booking me, and they come from across the world. And, you know, it's because of me reaching out my hand and say, hey, I'm Morgan Toney, nice to meet you. What's your name? What can we do together? You know, you just got to be patient and make connections.
That's awesome. Is there an artist that you wish to collaborate with in the future?
That got me by surprise. Well, you know, when I first started playing, I knew that I wanted Ashley MacIsaac on one of my songs.
Yeah.
And we got him. But another artist, there's 2 artists that I really want to collaborate with. It is DeeDee Austin. She's from Fall River. I don't know if it's Fall River, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Fall River. I got to really know her this week, and we're best friends now, and it's amazing. So I want to collaborate with her. And another artist who I really want to collaborate with is Jeremy Dutcher. Jeremy Dutcher is, he's Wallastogik from here, I think, in New Brunswick, summers around here. His music is amazing. And I think it'll be such an important song, an important message if we collaborated together.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it happen.
Hell yeah. It's going to happen.
Yes, I believe. You let us know that your mom is a mentor. Is there a teacher or somebody in the music industry that has helped you on your journey?
I would say there's two. It would be Keith Mullins. You know, Keith Mullins was the guy who had the vision for me. When I showed him a very rough version of what is now our song Gojua, I showed it to him 3 years ago, and he knew he wanted to record it. He recorded it, and I think I actually met him through my late cousin, Sebastian. So Keith Mullins was playing at a little place called the Freight Shed in Bedeck. Keith's partner also worked there, and Sebastian also worked there. So Sebastian and Keith made this connection, and Sebastian told him, hey, there's this guy from where I live, he's my cousin, you gotta meet him, plays the fiddle, Morgan Toney. And Keith Mullins reached out to me that day, and you know, we started this friendship. And he's like a father to me. You know, I have my father at home, Christopher, but like Keith keeps me in line. And you know, he's been in the music industry for over 25 years, and he knows what's going on.
Wow.
He knows who to connect with. He knows what messages to put out. And you know, it's because of him why I'm here. And these two awards here on the table, I don't consider them my own. I consider them me and Keith Mullins. Yeah. And the other person is his mom, Debbie Mullins, as well. Yeah.
What do you think makes the music industry on the East Coast so unique and special?
You know, one of the most important things about that is there's always room for innovation.
Yeah.
There's always room for creativity. You know, there's a lot of cultural things happening in Cape Breton. You know, we got the Acadian, we got the Gaelic, we got the Mi'kmaq, and you know, there's another one. Anyways, there's a lot of musical things happening. And, you know, people are down for something. And when we first started fusing these two genres, the Celtic genre and the Mi'kmaq genre, you know, it's been uphill. And what makes it so unique is that you just have to come to Cape Breton, you know. I can't really say much more, but, you know, they got the fiddle. The fiddle is so strong back home in Cape Breton. And, you know, music is like the talk of the town. There's always music happening. And I just have to say, if you are down in Cape Breton, definitely go check out whatever's going on. Anything musical, you have to go check it out, and you will be amazed. Absolutely, you will be amazed. But there's always room for innovation down there.
Thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Time.
Yes, absolutely.
I know the award show is still happening. And
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Once again, thank you to Morgan Toney for sharing his story and music journey with us. If you love Morgan Toney as much as we do, make sure to check his socials below to keep up with everything Morgan.